Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this video we're going to discuss directional bias and why it's still overwhelmingly bullish. Now it's difficult to have that confirmation or even that confidence when the market opens up and does what we saw it did earlier this morning with this kind of sell-off. But perspective is important for day traders, as are understanding key support levels. And let's start with perspective. Perspective comes from the daily. For me, when I'm day trading, what I'm going to do and why I'm going to do it, it's going to start over here on the right side with this daily time frame, and an understanding that we still have very much what I call a double green market. Double green means pullbacks are going to be bought, not sold. And it means that while, yes, there may be some bearish momentum opportunities, ultimately what we want to wait for is that exhaustion. Now, why am I bullish? Because we're still sitting above key volume weighted average price levels. And then in terms of support, the key here really is two things. One, waiting for the range to establish. And two, once the market starts heading lower, if you do want to take advantage of the shorts, making sure you remember that as the market nears levels of volume that it's bounced at or near before, there's a good chance at a level like this and this are more oversold than they are the beginning of another leg of the move lower. If these lows would have happened up in this area of my V-score, that would have meant there's still a lot more room down to the low that we saw earlier. But since it happened just below, at and just below, we know that we're very likely on borrowed time, and the market's going to, at some point, very soon, find support. Not an easy thing to do at all, hear me out, but I think what happens is if you are short and you realize we're down near the extremes, you can start paying yourself. That's really important. That's one thing you can look at. And if you are looking for levels from which to be a buyer, you can do so with small size or even with the DIA options or the SPY options or the QQQ options, whatever it is you're trading. In this case, we're talking SPYs. You can start building small positions using those options or even micros to give you latitude until we bounce. And that's the way I'll continue to look at this market, still very much with that bullish directional bias. Were we able to punch up higher through the clearing range high? Nope, but we sure didn't continue to follow through to the downside. We could say right into the close, we started to pressure that level. But turnaround Tuesday, good question. Does turnaround Tuesday mean we're going to continue to see the movement to the upside? In the premium video, I'm going to talk about why this is going to continue to be why I will be bullish into midday Wednesday. All right, so I think there's a good chance we're going to continue to see that movement to the upside. We'll also talk about some key earnings releases and how that's going to affect us on the future side. Hard not to talk about Apple, right? Really important to discuss what Apple means to the broader markets. We're just a couple days away. Apple's a key name in this conversation. So some of these stocks during earnings season, and this is going to be a very interesting earnings week. I'll talk about how I track earnings and how I track what that means to our individual futures contracts in the premium video. So I hope that helps. Keep that level in mind in terms of those V-score lows, range lows, and be patient enough to sit out or at least very prudently trade to the short side and focus most of your attention to the long side. I know that may not be most traders' cup of tea, but think about probability and think about the fact that most of your better follow through is still going to be to the long side. Take a look at the larger trend. Let that, even for day trading, be your guide.